Hello and welcome to Kaz English, your ultimate destination for mastering the English language. Whether you're a beginner or looking to polish your skills, we've got you covered with engaging lessons and practical tips. Don't forget to visit our website at kazap.uk, that's kaz.app.uk, for exclusive resources and additional learning tools to help you succeed. Let's dive into today's lesson and take your English to the next level.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at a real-world English conversation about recommending local restaurants.
Yeah, this one's going to be really useful if you're learning English, especially for beginners.
Especially if you're at that beginner level.
Yeah.
So get ready, because we're going to uncover some really tasty vocabulary along the way.
Absolutely.
So to set the scene, we've got two friends, Ryan and Julia, and they're just chatting about, places to eat, and Julia's kind of kicking things off by asking Ryan for a recommendation.
Okay.
Let's hear how she does that.
All right.
Do you know any good local restaurants around here?
Oh, yeah. I love that.
See?
It's so simple, but it's so effective.
It's just so natural, right?
It is. And for those of you who are new to English, that phrase, it's like a magic key that unlocks a world of suggestions.
Yeah.
It really is. It's one to memorize and try to use in your own conversations.
Yeah, definitely. Now, before we hear Ryan's answer, I should mention that this dialogue is classified as B1 level, which means it's generally for intermediate learners.
Yeah.
But don't worry, we're going to break it down so it's easy for everyone to understand.
Yeah, we'll go step by step so you can follow along, even if you are just starting out with English.
All right, let's hear what Ryan recommends.
Okay.
Actually, I just discovered this amazing authentic Thai place.
Ooh, authentic Thai.
Ooh, doesn't that just make you hungry?
Yes.
Authentic Thai place. But what exactly does authentic mean?
Yeah, authentic means something is genuine, real, and true to its origin. It's like experiencing the real deal.
Yeah.
And in this case, it probably means that the Thai restaurant that Ryan's talking about has a traditional atmosphere. It uses traditional recipes, and it really offers, like a real taste of Thai culture.
Yeah, it's like taking a mini trip to Thailand without leaving your city.
Exactly.
I love it. So if you want to emphasize that something is genuinely from a specific place or culture,
Yeah.
authentic is the word to use.
Authentic's the word. You could say this shop sells authentic handmade crafts from Mexico.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we know where they're going to eat. But Julia has a few more questions. Really, what's their specialty? Is it usually crowded? Should I make a reservation? What's the price range like?
Oh, she's got a lot of questions.
Oh, yeah, she's firing off a lot of questions here.
She does.
She wants to know about the restaurant's specialty, if it gets crowded, whether she needs a reservation, and what the price range is like.
Uh-huh.
These are all really useful words to know when you're talking about restaurants.
I agree.
I know. Let's take a closer look at each of them.
Okay.
Starting with specialty.
All right.
What does that mean?
So specialty refers to what the restaurant is known for. Their most popular or unique dish. It's like their signature. Imagine you're at an Italian restaurant. Their specialty might be their amazing lasagna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you see specialty on a menu,
Yeah.
it's a good bet. That dish is something special.
Exactly.
All right, now let's talk about crowded.
Okay.
What does that mean in this context?
So crowded simply means a place is full of people. If a restaurant is crowded, it means a lot of people like to eat there, but it might mean you have to wait for a table.
Yeah. Yeah, we often use crowded to describe places like buses, concerts, or markets, too. It's a very common word to know.
It is very common.
It is.
Okay. So crowded is easy enough to remember.
Right.
Let's move on to reservations.
Okay.
What are those and why are they important?
So a reservation is when you book a table at a restaurant in advance. It's like saying, hey, I'm coming to eat at this time. Please save me a spot.
Yeah.
If a restaurant is really popular or it's a busy time of day, it's always a good idea to make a reservation so you don't have to wait.
Reservations are lifesavers when you're really hungry.
I know.
All right. Last but not least, we have price range.
Okay.
What exactly does that mean?
So the price range refers to how much you can expect to spend at a restaurant.
Okay.
It gives you an idea whether it's expensive or affordable.
Yeah.
For example, a restaurant might say their price range is $10 to $20 per dish. Gotcha. So to recap, we just learned 4 very useful words: specialty, crowded, reservation, and price range.
Yeah.
Keep those in mind the next time you're talking about restaurants in English.
Yeah.
Now let's hear how Ryan answers Julia's questions.
All right.
Their pad thai is outstanding, and the atmosphere is cozy. It gets packed during peak hours. So reserving is recommended. It's quite reasonable for the quality, around $15 a dish.
Wow, sounds good.
Okay, so we know their specialty is pad thai.
Oh.
It sounds like a popular place.
Yeah.
And the price isn't bad.
Yeah, sounds pretty reasonable.
But Ryan used a couple new phrases we need to unpack.
Okay.
First, he said it gets packed during peak hours.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So packed is just another word for very crowded.
Uh-huh.
Like a train full of people during rush hour.
Yeah.
And peak hours are the busiest times, usually when people are going out for lunch or dinner.
Okay.
So if a restaurant is packed during peak hours, it's a popular spot.
That makes sense.
Right?
And remember, we learned earlier that if a place is crowded, it's a good idea to make a reservation.
Yeah, definitely.
It sounds like that's definitely the case here.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about how Ryan describes the price.
Right.
He says it's quite reasonable for the quality.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Okay, so reasonable generally means something is fair and not too expensive. But when he adds for the quality, he's emphasizing that the price is a good value for the kind of food you get.
So it might be a little pricier than some other places.
Yeah.
But the food is so good that it's worth it.
Exactly. You're getting what you pay for.
Mm-hmm. This has been really helpful so far. We've covered a lot of great vocabulary and phrases for talking about restaurants. But what I find really fascinating is...
What do you find fascinating? How much we can learn from just like a short conversation.
Yeah.
We've got vocabulary, cultural insights, even like practical tips for dining out,
Yeah.
all packed into, just these few sentences.
It really shows you the power of learning English through real-world conversations. It's
Yeah.
not just about memorizing words, in isolation. It's about understanding how people actually use them in different situations.
Exactly. And, if you're learning English, paying attention to these kinds of conversations can really help you sound more natural and confident when you speak.
Totally.
It's like you're learning from the experts, native speakers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of learning from experts, let's go back to that key question that Julia asked at the beginning.
Okay.
Do you know any good local restaurants around here?
Yeah.
That phrase,
It's so good.
it's like a Swiss Army knife
It is.
for recommendations.
You can use it for
You
anything.
can use it for anything. Bookstores, coffee shops, hiking trails,
Anything.
you name it.
You just swap out local restaurants with any other place or thing you're looking for. Like
Yeah.
you could ask, do you know any good bookstores around here? Or do you know any good places to buy souvenirs?
So versatile. I love it. Okay, before we wrap up this deep dive, let's do a quick review of all the fantastic vocabulary we've uncovered,
Yes, good idea.
just to help cement it in your memory.
Let's do it. All right, so let's start with authentic,
Yep.
which means genuine or real. We also learned about specialty, which is what a restaurant is known for. Then we had crowded, which means full of people. And don't forget about reservations, which is booking a table in advance.
Yes. And finally, we learned about price range, which tells you how much you can expect to spend. We also unpacked some useful phrases like packed, which is another way to say very crowded, and peak hours, which are the busiest times.
And let's not forget reasonable for the quality,
Oh, yes.
which emphasizes that the price is a good value for what you're getting.
I love that phrase. Wow, that's a lot of new words and phrases.
Mm.
But remember, the best way to learn them is to practice using them in your own conversations.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how you learn.
And speaking of great ways to practice English.
I was just thinking about that.
Yeah.
There are so many resources out there for language learners, but finding one that focuses on real-world conversations can be tricky.
So true. That's why I want to tell you about something that might be right up your alley.
Okay, tell me more.
Have you heard of Kaz English? Kaz English.
Kaz English is an online learning platform that's perfect for anyone who wants to improve their conversational English skills.
What's it all about?
What's really cool about Kaz English is that it uses authentic dialogues just like the one we explored today.
Oh, wow.
They have a huge library of conversations covering all sorts of everyday situations.
So it's not just about restaurants then?
No, not just restaurants, all kinds of everyday situations. And it's specifically designed for beginner and intermediate learners. So if you're just starting out or you're looking to take your conversational skills to the next level, Kaz English has something for you.
That's great. I love that it's for, a variety of levels.
Yeah.
What else?
We have this amazing learning player that allows you to really dive deep into each dialogue. You can practice your pronunciation, learn new vocabulary, and even test your understanding.
It sounds very thorough.
It's like having a personal English tutor right in your pocket.
I like that.
And the best part is they make learning fun and engaging. You'll be amazed at how quickly you progress when you're learning through real-world conversations.
Now, in our conversation today, we heard Julia ask about all the important things like the restaurant's specialty, whether it's crowded and the price range. But what if you have dietary restrictions or preferences?
That's a great question. How would you ask about those things in English?
Yeah, think about it.
What phrases or vocabulary would you use?
This is where the real learning happens, taking what you've learned and applying it to new situations. And that's exactly what Kaz English encourages you to do.
So if you're ready to take your English speaking skills to the next level and learn how to navigate real-world conversations with confidence, you can head over to Kaz English at https://kazapp.uk and check it out.
Yeah, explore their amazing library of real-world dialogues and start practicing your English today.
And who knows, maybe the next time you're recommending a restaurant to a friend, you'll be using all this fantastic vocabulary and phrases that we've learned today.
I hope so.
It's been such a pleasure having you on this deep dive into the world of restaurant recommendations.
The pleasure was all mine.
Thanks for listening and happy language learning.
Thanks for joining the conversation here at Kaz English. We hope you found it fun and informative. Don't forget to check out kazapp.uk. That's kazapp.uk for more tips, resources, and interactive practice. Keep exploring, keep chatting, and we'll catch up with you again soon.